All right, peace and greetings, YouTubers. So, Black Girls Rock 2018, let's just jump right into it. Now, I was supposed to do this last night. However, I got stuck in Atlanta at the airport. Flight was delayed by 4 hours. I was like, how is a 1 hour and 20-minute flight delayed by 4 hours? I don't understand. What is this? So, couldn't get the video in for you guys. But here we are today. What I've always appreciated about Black Girls Rock is that I've always said on this channel a million times before that I think sometimes black women, they don't receive the accolades that are deserved. They don't get the red carpet rollout that's deserved. A lot of the accomplishments and the contributions that they've given to society are often forgotten. Sometimes it's credited to other people. Sometimes it's credited to folks that didn't do anything. And so black women oftentimes, the lineage and the success of what they have created and things that they were pivotal in, helping to just pretty much blossom, they don't always get the credit that's due. And so something like Black Girls Rock goes out of their way to do that. And so I always will support something like Black Girls Rock because I think, especially as a black man, in the collective that we have as black people, it's important that we celebrate each other, both men and women. And I think black men, we get our fair share of accolades and celebration, but I don't think the black women do. And so I think as men, we also have to be supportive in uplifting them in that same realm. We can't make it about, well, what about me? How come you ain't, man, that's some bullshit. Because some folks really be feeling some kind of way when this comes on every year. And I'm like, listen, if you're really that bothered because black women got 2 hours on TV out of 365 days of the year, a 2-hour special where literally they honor maybe 8 or 9 black women. And I mean, there's thousands that need to be honored. If you really feel some kind of way, I don't know what to tell you. You might need to reevaluate your life. But anyway, here we are today. Also, what I like about Black Girls Rock is that they give celebration and accolades to people that are within many realms. It's not just entertainment and it's not just sports. And so everybody gets a spot on that stage. So you can be, you can be somebody who did some community building and end up on a stage with somebody who was a superstar entertainer, and still share the same stage with somebody who might have been in politics or somebody who was an athlete. So I think that's really cool as well. Everybody gets the same shine. So it's not like, it wasn't like they gave the straight red carpet rollout to Mary J Blige and everybody, or Mary J Blige and Janet, and everybody else had to take a backseat to those two. It's like, no, everybody is going to get their fair, just do celebration, because it's not about who did more and who did what. It's about how you contribute to society and how diverse the contributions and the talents are and the gifts that are spread. You know what I mean? So it's important that you celebrate these legacies while they're here, because it's so easy for society to take away and chip away at people's legacies, especially black women. Folks don't like to give black women credit for anything, ever. They will find a way to discredit them in everything. Find any entertainment-related story about any black female entertainer and go read the comment section. You'll be like, what is this crap? Find any news story about any kind of black prominent woman in politics or in science or in medicine or in law, and then read the comments section. You will see all kind of nonsense going on. But anyway, I'm not here to preach. I'm just here to talk about the show. It opened with Fantasia, and she was doing Aretha Franklin tribute. Of course, Fantasia you can never go wrong with. So listen, that's the other thing too. Literally, Black Girls Rock, every performance is always going to be good. Black Girls Rock in the Soul Train Awards, every performance will always be good, no matter what. So Fantasia came out, killed it, and the thing that I like watching is the energy of the crowd. Fantasia has a way of pulling everybody into her world when she's on that stage. It's like the world is in her hand, and like its descendants are in that mic or something, and it just all spreads back out. I mean, the whole crowd, the energy in there was just dope. Queen Latifah was a host, always a dope host as well. And that's the other thing that's cool, is like watching, like, these are peers celebrating their peers. You know what I mean? So it wasn't, because a lot of these people have honored each other before, have been honored, or vice versa, this, that, and third, but they're willing to celebrate each other and step outside of themselves for that moment to let their comrades shine. And I think that's dope. And so first one that was honored was Lena Waithe. And so you may have seen her for a lot of the stuff that she does in film and television, which is really, really dope. And I like that she's unapologetically herself. Really, really dope. And they also had honored Naomi Campbell, which, what is there not to say about Naomi? You know what I mean? Like, man, Naomi's everything. And she's still, like, here's the thing, Naomi's still calling the shots in fashion. And in an industry where, there's ageism, and hell, thanks to her good genetics, they ain't never going to be able to fire her because she still look like it's 1993. But, in an age and in a fashion industry where there's ageism, she's been able to, stay and hold strong and call the shots. Like, people are still breaking their necks to work with her. So, I mean, she's something special. That's a gem there. Also, did you know that Naomi Campbell had a #1 song in Japan? Like, she used to be a singer. Go to YouTube and look up her music video. Now, I'm not gonna say the song was good, but she got a #1 song in Japan. So come on, master of many different traits. Who else was there? Tarana Burke, the Me Too movement, and you see that. You know what I found interesting too, because at first they tried to not give her credit for that movement. It was the other little white lady that they tried to make the face of that movement, and then when she got in trouble with whatever little pedophile thing she had going, now they want to push it all back. I was like, you see, that's how they be doing every time. But it was dope that she got honored as well, and I think, that could be another conversation about just what's been going on with the Me Too movement and what's been going on in society. There's a lot going on, but for the sake of this video, because we're gonna keep it positive for the moment, we'll leave it at that. But yeah, there's a lot going on, so I think it's dope that she was brave enough to call some of the things that have been going on, to call that out, because stuff like that ends careers, unfortunately, for some. There's a lot of people who work to fight injustices and they lose everything. You know what I mean? So it's dope that she can be celebrated for taking a stand with something that, in the industry that she works in is shunned upon. You're supposed to just be quiet and shut up and be grateful that you're there. That's literally the language and the narrative that they put out. So it's dope that she's not afraid to do that. H.e.r performed. And so I'm guessing, I'm just now getting into H.e.r. A lot of you guys, since I started my R&B is Dead series, have been telling me about H.e.r. That's really the name of the artist for people who don't know who I'm talking about. H.e.r. Y'all have been telling me about H.e.r. for at least the last 3 or 4 years. But I'm starting to see her everywhere now. So I'm like, okay, interesting. I guess the shades are a part of the image. So she doesn't want to show her face or something. But great performance. The thing with the guitar, of course, I thought was dope. The choir sounded really good that backed her. She's a unique artist. Tamia, yes. Okay, listen, I know we're supposed to celebrate black women. Don't judge my male chauvinistic perspective, but Tamia has body. That's all I just wanted to say. I said, good job to Tamia. But anyway, to the actual song, I think Tamia is very underrated as well as an artist. She's always had this really, really powerful voice. If you go back and you get that Quincy Jones, I think it was like Quincy Jones Jukebox Joint, something like that. It was an album it's the same album that has You Put a Move in My Heart on it, but she has another song with Babyface called Slow Jam. She gives a vocal on that mess, man. Tamia kills that crap, and I don't think Tamia's ever even had a bad album. All of her music is really dope. I like Leave It Smoking. That's a great song. I wish more people would support it. I think it has a fresh vibe to it, but it's still throwback, but it's current. That's a really, really great song. Urban AC plays it out all the time, but Tamia, I thought that was a great performance, and she still sounds the same. Her voice, some people, that wear and tear kicks in, but her voice it's rich, it's good, it's just good job to me. I like her, and I like watching her and her husband and the success that they have. I like watching Black Love, and I think Anita Baker introduced her and her husband to each other, which is kind of cool. So it's kind of cool how, as a collective, we can be so supportive, and you just never know what doors we can open for each other. That's always dope. Let me see. Oh, Mary J Blige, of course, is Aunt Mary. Mary is just Mary. I was so happy I got to see her at Essence finally. I saw her at the BET Honors a few times, but seeing her at Essence was a great show. Mary has my heart. I don't think I give Mary enough accolades in my R&B is Dead series. I literally should just give Mary a whole episode, because when I think of the transition between What's the 411, the My Life album, Share My World album, and the Mary album, those 4 albums, especially the latter 3, those are... If you're not into Mary J. Blige music, those are the 4 albums I would introduce you to before you check out anything else out of her 13 albums. But those first 4, actually, I guess there was a remix album in the mix too, but those 4, especially the latter 3, I really like Share My World and I like Mary. I know Mary stands Love My Life, but Share My World was my album. That was my favorite Mary album for the longest. And Mary is a dope album, and My Life is a dope album. Mary's joint will always knock. And it's dope that Mary has been able to brand herself outside of music as well. Acting, she's actually a very great actress. I remember back in the day, remember that movie with Q-Tip? They used to come on BET every week. I remember watching her in that, and then, just watching her grow. And you've seen how far she's come. I remember Throwback Mary that used to do the interview with the shades on. She ain't feel like talking to nobody because people used to judge her based on how they thought she was because of how they felt she was presented. And so they used to always try to say she wasn't as polished as some of the other entertainers. And so to see how celebrated she is now and how she's accepted by everybody, people love them some Mary J. And it's dope. Mary, Aunt Mary, she can do no wrong. Plus, I enjoy all of the clips of the dancing at every show. She got a new routine every time. So yeah, Mary's great. I love Mary. Judith Johnson and the Alvin Ailey Dance Company. One of the coolest things about her if you've ever had the opportunity to go see an Alvin Ailey production, first of all, I suggest you go and do it if you've never done it. As a former choreographer, I used to not always appreciate all the art forms of dance, especially the specific dance that you will see when you go to like an Alvin Ailey show with the ballet and the liturgical and the interpretive and everything like that. I used to not really care about that kind of dance because all I wanted to do was do all the hip hop choreography and the head spins and all that crap. And so one day, one of my old mentors took me to a show. It was an Alvin Ailey show, and I remember they normally do their shows in 3 sets. So they normally do 2 sets, and then the last set is always the piece Revelation, which is the one that was really, really famous back in the day. But I remember I saw the first piece, and I'm like, all right, this is cool, whatever, man. Then the second piece, it was an Earth, Wind, and Fire medley. Like, that crap was so good. I mean, I was like, this is amazing. I didn't realize that ballet and stuff could be interpreted and presented the way it was. Like, it was so dope. And by the time they got to Revelations, I was like, okay, I'm hooked. Now, I was never really one that wanted to do ballet or nothing like that, but I could appreciate it. And for her as a black woman, especially in 89, to take over such a huge company and take it to where it's going, because a lot of times, sometimes when the original creator of some of these companies and organizations, when they pass on or when they step down and somebody else comes in, sometimes these things fall apart. But Alvin Ailey has been able to remain literally the pivotal place for black dancers to aspire to be a part of that company. If you're in ballet, like, that is the place to go. And for her, also, she's extremely humble. Like, if you ever watch any of her other interviews, she's always just the most, like, she just has like a warm spirit. Like, there's some people that you get a good vibe from them every time you see or hear from them. Every time I've seen any interview of hers or anything that she's been at, she's extremely humble. The humility, I think, is what gets her far. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause she's super dope. And I think sometimes I don't even think she realizes what all she's been able to do. And those are the best people to be around. The ones who you can learn so much from, but they want to also learn from you. Like, that is the dopest stuff. And then Victory performed. And the thing about Victory, I just saw their video on BET Soul like a month or two ago, and I was like, this song is really different. I don't know how it's going to do, but it's interesting. And so then I saw it tonight on the performance. I was like, okay, awesome. So I'm glad that they're getting, the opportunities to perform on larger stages. Like, the song, even the video is really interesting. God, I can't even remember how the video went. I wanted to say they were like outside in the desert or something. I might be wrong. But listen, I think I might be the only person that watches BET Soul every day, like in the morning while I get dressed for work. I'm trying to keep them in business, okay? I appreciate music videos that come on TV. I don't want to look on YouTube and search people. I like for me to discover things by just watching TV and I see something I haven't seen before. That's the one thing I think people forget about why MTV and BET and stuff like that used to be gyms when they played music. It was the best way to discover music. Same with radio when it wasn't all syndicated playlists and syndicated shows. You actually discovered great music because it was presented to you. Today, you got to go and search through the trenches of the internet to find stuff, and that crap is exhausting. But there is some good music out there. Of course, they honor Janet Jackson, and what is there for me to say? If you follow me, Janet Jackson is my favorite childhood entertainer. Like, I've been a fan of hers since I was probably 8 or 9, and I've never let go. And the best, listen, let me tell you about karma. So I know you guys have been seeing the story about the guy. What is his name? Let me see if I can Google his name real quick. Dang, I can't remember this dude's name. God, I'm sorry. I hate when I gotta look up stuff while I'm doing a video. What is it? Les Moons, whatever the dude is. Basically, this is the dude responsible for trying to end Janet Jackson's career. Pretty much, and I talked about this in one of the news episodes, because somebody literally asked me, like, how do you know that she's still blacklisted, this, that, and third. This is the guy that went out of his way to try to sabotage and end her career. Like, he got her banned from all radio stations, banned from MTV, banned from, a lot of things. And I mean, she's really struggled a lot. But the funniest thing, in the same night that he was removed from CBS, she was being honored on TV. I said, you see how karma in the universe just works back around? See, when you do wrong and you go after people, look how things work out. He got all kind of sexual assaults and stuff all on his plate. I'm like, yeah, you work that out. Meanwhile, Janet was getting honored on TV, so good for her. And then Rhapsody performed. I didn't get a chance to sit through all of it because I still needed to eat too. I was trying to make my dinner at the same time, but I was listening from the side. The poem sounded good, especially the bit where she was talking about pretty much credit being given to other people for things that they've done. I said, all right, there you go. And then of course Beverly Bond always looks great. Everything I've seen, and Beverly Bond, is pretty much the creator of Black Girls Rock. And also another thing with Black Girls Rock, it's not just an award show. It's some year-long work. So if you want more information about what it is they do, they have a whole website. It's a whole campaign. It's a bunch of things that they have going on. And, they honor literally everybody who's doing something productive that helps Black people as a collective. And then of course there was the Aretha Franklin tribute. Now, Aretha, they've given her a red carpet rollout. I'll say that. It was an excellent tribute. Excellent. Jasmine Sullivan, who I haven't seen in a minute. I'm like, Jasmine, where you at? Jazzy, where you been? I really like Jasmine. I think she's underrated, heavily underrated. But she performed excellent, of course. I hope she has a new project coming out. I saw her in concert twice in the same week a few years ago when she was on the reality show tour. Really great show. She's always in good voice, and her voice is like rich and heavy. Also, speaking of Stephanie Mills and Jasmine Sullivan, because Stephanie Mills, when you talk about the song Home, Diana Stephanie did it on Wiz back in the day on Broadway. And so Stephanie was always known for singing Home. And then, of course, Diana did the movie and people knew Home. I've always liked Jasmine Sullivan's version of Home. If you check that out, she did that crap when she was 11 or 12. Kills it. The technique that she had as a vocalist at 11 or 12 is amazing, because there's adults, including myself, who can't do half of what she did at the age of 11 and 12. If you've never seen that performance, just watch the last minute and a half of that. That girl, you knew she was going to be somebody. So I hope the industry is more open to supporting Jasmine. She makes great music, great live artist. And she's from Philly. Come on, anybody from Philly will always give you some good music. Pink, Left Eye, Eve, Patty. Come on, Philly always get it in. Shout out to Philly. And Lettucey, of course, performed excellent. The thing, Lettucey has octaves. Lettucey will sing up here and just be comfortable singing up there. Me, I get to hear and be over here straining and all right, let me go back down 2 more pockets. Lettucey gets way up here and stays there. And it's just unfazed. And she has a really great presence to her as well. I remember I saw her when I was at BET Honors and they were honoring Shaka Khan. And she just pulled these notes out of nowhere. I'm like, huh? And then I saw her again at BET Honors some years later when she honored Natalie Cole. And again, when she got to This Will Be and I've Got Love on My Mind, I'm like, Lettucey, how do y'all do this? This is why I think Black women need to be celebrated, because people like Lettucey and them, they don't really get invited to the Grammy stage, and they don't get invited to the AMA stage, and the masses sometimes don't get to see them. But what I've noticed is things like Black Girls Rock and the Soul Train Awards, I feel like we give ourselves our own justice, which is why we don't really need some of these other award shows. And that's why I'm like, we really should start supporting our own award shows, because when you watch it, there's so much talent that's there. The only time I ever do award show reviews where I don't have anything negative to say is usually when I watch award shows that are put on by Black production companies and Black management and Black creative directors and have an interest in Black progression. Soul Train Awards, BET Honors, Black Girls Rock, sometimes the BET Awards. And so that was dope. And then Cynthia Erivo, I have never heard of. I'll be honest, I've never heard of her, but now I need to go and research her, because she killed that song. Her voice was so rich, and I wish she could have been on stage a bit longer, because I want to know more about her. So if you know about her, y'all can put some recommendations on what to check out in the comment section. Beautiful voice. I really enjoy hearing people that can really sing, and that was the great thing about this show. Everybody could freaking sing. And then of course Yolanda Adams and Stephanie Mills. Stephanie Mills, I think sometimes doesn't get the accolades she deserves. I hope hopefully she can get honored at some point. Stephanie Mills has always had a voice. I've always enjoyed her cover of Feel the Fire. That's my favorite Stephanie Mills song. My dad used to love playing Putting a Rush on Me. He used to play that vinyl all the time. Putting a rush on me. I'm a little hoarse. I've been cussing out kids all day. But Stephanie Mills, great performance. And I like that they let her have a lot of stage time. You know what I mean? Sometimes we, as the seasoned artists get older, we start pushing them to the side, and we don't want to give them too much stage time because we want to let all the newer acts shine. But I like that you can still pay homage and honor those who've done a lot. It's Stephanie Mills has had a booming career since the 70s, since she was a little girl. And I mean, she's done a lot. So Stephanie Mills, great catalog. So Feel the Fire was a favorite. What else is she? A Black Butterfly. Like I said, my daddy liked Putting a Rush. I also like, what's that song? Dang. It's gonna come to me later. I'll write it down in the comment section, or to come to me before I finish this video. And of course, Yolanda Adams closed it out with How I Got Over from Aretha's Amazing Grace album. And I mean, Yolanda, of course, just great vocals. Oh, Yolanda had 2 performances. She also performed, what was the dancer's name? Jacqueline Green. They also had a really great performance as well. But yeah, Yolanda Adams and the Aretha Franklin tribute. Yolanda needs to start getting some tributes as well. You know, there are certain artists that just tribute everybody all the time. Fantasia, Jennifer Hudson, Lettucey, Yolanda, a few others. Some of those people also need their awards and their accolades as well. I just want to say that. I just want to put that out there. You know, they've been so supportive of so many people. Make sure that you guys are giving them the same support. Yolanda Adams has been consistent since the early 90s, okay? Yes, give credit where credit is due. Anyway, that is it, because now I need to watch this other part 6 of the Trayvon Martin documentary and then do a review on that tonight as well. It's going to be a long night. Anyway, share your 2 cents. I'm out. Subscribe.